Well, it's the end of another day, and I am out here in the garage enjoying a cigar. Thank you for joining me. If you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. If you like the content, today's story may be interesting for you. Go ahead and hit that like button. And if anything stands out, please add something in the comments. I really appreciate that. So this has been a pretty rough week for me. I don't know if it has been for you. But I wanted to share a little story that hopefully will make you laugh. I got to set this cigar down here for just a moment because I tend to get a little animated, and this story in particular definitely needs some animation. So since everybody has been talking about Titanic lately because of all of the things that have come up that have caused awareness to rise again, I'll share a story that may be unlike any other Titanic story you've ever heard. Going back to 2000, when my wife and I were dating, and yes, I am showing my age there, but hopefully you'll be able to bear with me here. We were dating, and I'd gone over to her house many times before, but this was still the early stages of dating, and my stomach was really struggling this night. And, you know, fellas, whenever you go to your girl's house, you don't want to necessarily use the restroom if you can avoid it. I was one of those people who didn't like to use the restroom anywhere public. So that was my own personal issue. But on this evening, I couldn't take it anymore. And I went into the small bathroom downstairs, and it was a nice bathroom. We were still in high school. She was in high school, and fancy bathroom downstairs. It's the parents' guest bathroom, so it's got all the nice stuff in it. Nice floor, carpet on the floor, flowery wallpaper, all that kind of stuff. But it's also kind of snug in there, right? It's not as roomy as you might want if you needed to take care of business or stretch your legs for whatever reason. Don't know why you're stretching your legs in the restroom, but to each their own. But so I'm using the restroom, and I do what's called a courtesy flush. Fellas, if you are not familiar with this technique and you have not learned how to master it yet, it can definitely save you some embarrassment if you step out of the restroom and the odor is not as pungent as it could be because you went ahead and flushed as soon as you needed to, right? Well, when you flush early and you are still using the restroom, you don't get to see what's happening. Well, so like I said, my stomach was pretty upset, and I did the first courtesy flush. And unfortunately, it didn't have the effect that I was hoping for, so I thought I needed to do another courtesy flush. And you're wondering right now, what the heck does this have to do with Titanic? Well, you're about to find out. If you saw that movie Titanic in 1997, you are familiar, or maybe if you saw it later, you're familiar with some of the scenes of when it starts sinking. Well, no, the sinking is not the feeling in the pit of my stomach that I felt because I'd used the restroom. I did another courtesy flush, and I guess you could say my stomach sank because suddenly I felt cold water coming up closer to me than I would have liked. And at that moment, you can't do anything. You freeze. You're like, how do I stop this? You know what's happening. It's getting ready to overflow. Well, it's a tight bathroom. So I'm sitting there, and as the water crests over the toilet, it flows out to my sides and has nowhere to go because it is a small restroom. And so it floods in front of me into that nice, beautiful carpet, and I literally see the water splash back off of the wall in front of me towards me, just like the water did on the boat when it sank in James Cameron Titanic, and it just came busting through the corridors. That's the image that I saw in front of me, and just sheer terror. Oh no, what do I do? And so, like any good boyfriend, I tried to clean up without her knowing about it. So I had to use that rug to try and sop up the water. Thankfully, it was just water, but nonetheless, it was not the most exciting experience. But all that to say, I was thankful that I had that memory today because I needed a good laugh at the end of this week. And hopefully, it brought a good laugh to you. Uh, as always, if you happen to be in the area, I don't always have bathroom jokes to share, but I do have cigars. If you are of age and would like to join me, I would love for you to come out. Let's share a cigar and let's change the world.